Hey guys, hope you had a good Christmas. Or Hanukkah, I guess, is in progress right now, right? So I wanted to update you. Emily and I have been discussing kind of prioritizing projects, and I gave you a kind of list rundown on the last video of the different things that need to be done. Some of those that are garden calendar related, like getting all the bare root trees and grapevines and fruit trees in, those are going to be done within the next 6 weeks. So the orchard, the vineyard, and then we're also getting trees for out here around the pond. And then I told you a few other things like the tropical, the rock work for the pond, maybe the pond, the plantings. So that one I think we're going to hold off on. We're still going to do all the plantings. So all the beds that I've dug out here, we're going to fill those with compost and do a lot of planting. But as far as the rock work and the pool / pond, we're going to hold off on that. And the reason is because, well, one of the reasons is I got very inspired to do another project. You know, I've told you, and if you're hearing this for the first time, you know, maybe you're just going to know that I'm just that way. Out here, we are having a pond in this area where it's dug out. It's going to be deeper than that. We have to get some more digging done. But I had discussed with you from almost, for certainly year one being on this property, I told you I want a water mill out there. Now, the water mill will be storage. We need storage around here. And so it's going to be storage on the inside. But on the outside, it's going to be a water mill. Much like the cottage is a chicken coop and also storage on the inside. And so I've been thinking kind of different ways I wanted to do it. I showed a picture probably 2 years ago of one that I found that I thought looked good. But the other day, I was online. I don't even remember what I was looking for, but this popped up, and I was completely in love with what I saw. Now, it was an artist who did this. It was a digital artist. So I'll put a link down below to give him the credit. I did not design this. And of course, mine will probably change a little bit, but this picture absolutely inspired me. I'll show you that picture in a minute. I'm going to tell you why, other than the inspiration, why we're going to choose to do more here than in the tropical garden. First of all, without digging out a pool here and without building rock work along the backside here, we can still make this area look tropical. It doesn't have to have rock work and stuff like that. We have lots of beds I've dug out here that just filled with compost and planted up. That's going to bring the tropical vibe for sure. We'll be planting trees, so tropical trees, a couple palm trees, a couple other types of trees. But this space already looks decent. You know, we can spend time out here, we can entertain out here. Just some planting is going to make that even more enjoyable. But when we walk around to the front yard, the side yard, the top of the pasture, and the front yard, it's not an area that we can use. It's not an area that even looks good. So right now, up here, we've got the cottage garden, and that looks finished, right? Especially after putting in the lawn. Now, it's winter right now, so it's not, beautiful, but still. But just panning across here, where we come in the gate here, and visitors come in the gate, over here is just a mess. And not just because there's some trash laying in the pond. It's going to be nice all the way up here with the lawn and the pasture, but then when we get to here, all the way up here just looks bad and unfinished. And then panning right around, over here, right in front of the house, it also looks bad and unfinished. So we were thinking, since the back in the tropical area looks fine already. I mean, it's usable. It looks finished. Even though it's nowhere near finished, it looks that way. Whereas up here, it's not finished at all, and it looks bad, and it's in the front of the house. All that being said, the plan was already to begin work on the formal English garden back over there. But I think I also want to go ahead and finish the upper pasture here with the pond. So I think once we get all the trees planted, the vineyard, the orchard, I really think we're going to start work out in this area. That way, the entire pasture from the bottom all the way to the top will look good. All right, now I want to show you the artwork that was my inspiration, that really kind of jump-started my whole thinking on this project. You ready to see it? So that's going to go out there where you see those PVC pipes. That's kind of laid out in the footprint of that mill. And on this berm that goes out to it, we're going to have a fence. I used forced perspective when I built the cottage to make it look life-size, even though it's not quite life-size. And I've shown you that before. But when I built the stairs, I made them bigger at the bottom and smaller at the top. I'm planting bigger trees out here, smaller trees there. So it looks like you could just go up there and walk right into that door without ducking. But as you get closer, the cottage kind of shrinks until you get here and realize you have to duck to get inside. So I'm going to use the same process out there to make the mill look life-size and further away than it actually is. So this fence we have coming down, starting here, we're going to have another fence hook on right here and go straight on out, kind of following the flags until it gets to the mill. Well, actually, it'll go past the mill into the chain link fence over there. And that fence is going to start out this height, but it's slowly going to get smaller as it goes out. And that way it's going to look like it's stretching further off into the distance. Now, it will perform a service in keeping Daisy in the lower pasture rather than coming up here. Also, we're going to have larger trees planted up here and smaller as they get toward the mill. And then we'll have trees in the back covering all of the houses that are behind. I'm going to have Boston ivy growing, hopefully covering the chain link fence. So that's a nice wall. And then the canopy of trees will be just above that. So this area will be enclosed in trees. Now I will be having livestock in this area. We will be having, I believe, some runner ducks. Not many, maybe 3 or 4. And I'm also thinking, I know this sounds crazy, but I'm thinking of evicting the chickens from the cottage. The more and more I learn about health and homesteading and eggs, I really want to get off of commercial grain feed more and more and pick up on pasture raising the chickens. And so the chickens will have full run of the upper pasture around the pond. So they're going to be completely happy. Now Bella will be able to get up there to provide them protection. I'm also thinking of a goose because they provide audible protection from aerial predators. They warn the chickens. Plus there's going to be a lot of things for the chickens to hide in, as well as a small hen house behind the mill. Another reason I'm doing this versus the tropical pond is the tropical pond is going to be a swimming pond. And so there's a lot more things that go into that than just a pond. So this is much like the ponds that I had at my last house. I had 2 ponds there. I've had ponds actually before that. All that I've built, this just happens to be larger, but it's the same thing, the same filtration and all of that. So I'm much more confident building this one and possibly letting a professional do the other one when the time comes. We'll see. So looking over here, the water wheel will be right there. There will be a flume dug out below that will have water coming through it that will power the wheel to make it go. Actually, it'll go this way. There'll be a path from the upper gate along the other side of the pond with a small stone bridge right there with some more water coming down under that. I need some visual interest on this side because this side is much higher than the lower side. And so when the water is full over here, there's still going to be kind of a little cliff there. And so I've got to add some visual interest to kind of take your mind off that. So I will have big boulders and things over on that side. So that's the plan. When we'll start on it, I'm guessing late February, early March. So I'm excited about that. Let me know what you think about that down in the comments. So today is Thursday, the day after Christmas, and I'm hoping that your Christmas went better than ours. Well, the first part was fine. We had all the family here, both sides, had lunch, and right around, I don't know, it was probably an hour before sunset, my friend Josh next door called me. And he said, my dad just said he saw Bella run by our living room window. And I'm like, what? Now, I had her out in the property. She was not confined to the pasture. The big gates were closed. There's a dog that runs around here that looks very similar to Bella. In fact, several of our neighbors have called us before, thinking it was her, and it wasn't. However, we went and looked around our property. There was no Bella. Now, if you remember, when we were gone on our vacation this summer, she did escape at that point. However, we had gone around the property and fixed all of those escape routes. So I was completely dumbfounded as to how she got out. I still don't know. But we had 3 or 4 cars out looking for her. We had people on foot looking for her, including my friend Josh next door, which made me really sad because he was supposed to be having Christmas with his family, and he volunteered to help us find Bella. It started to get toward dark. I sent the drone up. I was flying it around this area looking. We could not find her. And after it got dark, we had to give up and figured she's going to come home. But as the hours went on, I started to get nervous. Noah was devastated. I mean, he was devastated. In the back of my mind, I just thought, she's got to come home. Where's she going to go? Now, there is a concern of her being hit by a car on the street. But like I said, as the hours wore on, I'm like, she has never been gone this long. When she escaped, when we were gone on vacation, she just stayed right around, the property. She didn't go anywhere. But we couldn't find her anywhere. So, every 20, 30 minutes, I'd go outside and I'd call for her. And she wasn't coming. My nephews are here, and they got some all-terrain vehicles for Christmas, and they wanted to take them out here where the pond's going to be and kind of drive them around in that area. So we were out there. It was probably 7 or so well after sunset. And all of a sudden I look over, and here comes Bella trotting through the gate down the driveway like, hey guys, what's going on? At that point, I didn't know. I was obviously happy to see her, but I literally had to just say, Emily, take her. I was so angry with her. I know she wasn't that far away, and I know she heard our calls. Why she didn't come, I don't know. Why she left her animals, I don't know. So I honestly didn't want to talk to her the whole night. Noah took care of her. He was happy to see her. He didn't care. She still doesn't even look guilty. You caused a big problem, Missy. So yeah, that kind of ruined our whole Christmas night. As far as what to do now, I don't know. I've had her in the pasture since we got home from vacation almost, and only being let out when she was being supervised. And she's never tried to leave. So I'm not sure what the deal is. I'm not sure. I don't know how to take her around the property and watch for her to find a place. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You're a troublemaker. Yes, you are. So my dad was here last night. He raised cattle, and he looked at Daisy, and he said, I think she's pregnant. And I've been noticing too, she is getting around her. I'm going to send a picture of her to the breeder and see what she thinks, what her professional opinion might be. And there's these two. Hi, boys. How you doing, Daisy? So if I can get behind her, not the best angle. Sorry, Daisy. So she is kind of sticking out there on the right side, which is the side that she is supposed to be showing on first. See if I can get an above shot. Belly's kind of low hung too. Hello. So I know I've been promising you Christmas light video, so I'll just end this video with some of the sights around our property this Christmas, even though it's over. And I'll see you guys next time.
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of old lang syne? For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne, we'll talk a cup of kindness yet for days of old lang syne. And here's a hand, my trusty friend, and here's a hand of thine. We'll talk a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. For old lang syne, my dear, for old lang syne. We'll
Over there.
talk a cup of kindness yet for old lang syne. Should old acquaintance be